What a beautiful shot to give us the tail end of this Four Nations Ultimate tournament here in beautiful Glasgow, Scotland. You're currently watching the final, the matchup of England versus Wales. And I am absolutely delighted to be joined in the booth by Johnny Tafalis. I'm Gigi Morrison. We're going to be leading the charge for this game, hopefully giving you some fun little details to bring in throughout this final 70 minutes of Frisbee. So for our last game of today, our last game of this inaugural tournament, broadest question ever, what are your thoughts? What are your feelings?
Wow. Well, first of all, I've got to say it's a fantastic display of what's been. Oh, sorry, that's what you wanted. Sorry, we're getting directions to sit down. Hello, guys. Welcome to the Four Nations tournament. Yeah, it's been a great display of Frisbee. Very, very windy, so it's been quite a few gritty games going on. But what I can expect out of this is a lot of bids, a lot of energy, and a lot of passion from a lot of good teams. We've got the list of players here. I'm expecting on the England side, on the male matching side, I'm expecting big things from Andy Lewis and Conor Mickael. Female matching side, Quinn scoring loads, and Rachel Naden, of course. For Wales, I'm expecting a lot out of probably Sasha Haynes on the female matching side, and then on the male matching side, good big things from Rodri, and to be honest, Tom Lees, or Yellow as he's known. I think both of them are going to be charging a strong line of troops at the back. But yeah, I couldn't predict this if I tried. I've had many people trying to get a prediction out of me, but they're just not going to get it. It's going to be a good game either way.
What were your predictions initially, though?
This is where I admit I was a little bit far off on it. I thought England would get to the final. That's what I predicted on the Ultimate Insights podcast. So I'd shamelessly plug that one in. But I didn't think Wales would be able to do this well. But as soon as I saw them warming up, I thought, actually, I've made a little bit of an error on this one. It was good to see Scotland get the bronze place medal. You can obviously check that out on a previous stream at ULTI.TV. They did show a lot of passion towards the end of it, but I think just got a little bit. It took a little bit of too much time to get their momentum. But yeah, for this one, I'll let you decide. What do you think is going to win?
It's so difficult to be able to predict. All four teams have very different profiles, different personalities that they're bringing in. From the Irish and the Scottish side, whilst both different in their own rights, they've had the benefit of chemistry. As ultimate communities, they are significantly smaller than the rest of the UK and Ireland in general. A lot of the Welsh players, whilst they're all Welsh in their own right, they do play for a lot of English club teams. Yeah. So there's a good blending and mixing here. But what we've seen from the tournament today, England on paper, for a lot of it, have been like the ones to beat. Yeah. They have a huge amount of GB seniors and juniors players that are highly decorated. But the Welsh team have shown extreme grit and fire, and they will not go down without an absolute fight. And honestly, it's spooked a fair few of the other teams here already. So I'm expecting grit from Wales, and some of the chemistry that England have been able to develop throughout this tournament, throughout today, from their training session. Maybe some more slick options that we haven't necessarily seen as early on in this tournament.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm expecting a much cleaner game from both of these teams. I think they took a little bit of time to get going, a little bit of time to warm up, and I think as the tournament's progressed, I think they've both started to perform a lot better over the course of the tournament. I think I'm expecting to see a lot of passion from the Welsh side. The fans over to our left, to the right in front of the camera, they all seem to be on the side of Scotland, which means they will be on the side of Wales. So you put passion and good loud supporters next to each other, and I'll tell you, anything could happen in this game.
Well, it's more a case of they're in support of any team that isn't England.
Well, I didn't want to say those exact words, but yeah, definitely.
But it's true. That's what's been happening. If a Scottish team is on, they'll support the Scots. If it's not a Scottish team, it'll be anyone that isn't England. Right. Because Wales have come into this tournament also as the underdogs, and here they are in the final just to prove exactly why they are here as the underdogs.
Yeah, absolutely. And previously in the group stage, this game went to 7-7 before the buzzer cut them short. So I was gagging for a little bit more of that game. So I'm glad we get it right here and now.
And we will get the divisive and decided finisher, the winner for Four Nations Ultimate. As Wales going to start it on offense. Lee's slightly overshooting Stalin.
Yeah, a bit too much power on that one. I think he's maybe a little bit too eager to get out there and, yeah, whiz that one past, unfortunately.
Link for the offensive charge here for England. Mickael, inside backhand, going to ground is Chris Allen. Massive flying bid. Plant Haitley to the knees. Tries to find Link. Link also going to ground. Unfortunately not able to hold on to that one. Would have been a very difficult catch.
I could just see both teams just trying out each other and seeing what's going on. That's another unfortunate turnover by Lee.
Link to Quinn. Quinn to Allen. Allen tries to find the immediate reset, getting off that sideline. Does find relief in Quinn. Link gets it across the other side of the pitch. Thompson. Low release. Flik on the inside channel. It's called as up. The thumbs down is just an illusion. They are calling themselves the villains. That is why they're doing the thumbs down. It's not because it was down. But the first score for England is a break.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think we watched Wales in the previous game, and they took a lot of these IO shots, and it mostly worked for them. And I guess England have turned around and tried to do exactly the same thing there. It's very, very close on that bid from Wales, and just kind of squeezing its way in, kind of showing the game is, well, it's a game of tight margins, and I think they're showing it here.
And Thompson going to previous teammate Plant Haitley, both having played for Smog. Plant Haitley still playing for Smog, but Helen Thompson playing for Moon Cup out of Belgium. A low, spinny, rolly pull, pinning Wales to the sideline.
Been a bit of a theme throughout the tournament so far, these kind of rolly pulls, especially when it's been windy and very, very swirly out there.
Yeah, when they come off, they do work quite effectively. Williams shoots deep, has Long in the space, but also Sully there. Just a quick catch, snag over the top of Naden. Showing us the temporary tattoos in the wrong direction. There we go. I wonder at what point YouTube will deem this inappropriate.
Because of the filthy grab, dare I say. Couldn't resist on that one. No, it's a great grab by Sally there. I think kind of worked well to get the two English defenders into one spot, both trying to half compete for it, and just able to scoop over the top.
And the shot from Williams. Big step through forward, had both Lewis and Naden in that space, but Sully able to read it ever so slightly better. Didn't get suckered into the box out.
Yeah, did well to avoid a lot of contact there. Could have easily barged his way through, but just grabbing over the top. Game on.
Floaty pull from Turner. But sits at around about the brick mark. Link and Thompson trying to go for some sort of dominator set. Thompson finds a relief in Mickael. Plant Haitley. Huge fake on the under Flik. Takes the deep option on, has Thompson in the end zone. Can she read it better? Yes, she can. Is she surprised? Not at all. That is absolute confidence.
Sandwiched between two defenders and easily going up higher. That is class right there. That is class.
And Thompson having a wealth of experience, not just in the UK, but from her home nation in Canada. Her twin sister, Becky, also having a very similar level of experience. Also both wonderful human beings, if I do say so myself. They're very good friends of mine. And the shot from Plant Haitley. Just floats and floats. Turner almost there. Stalin also providing that sandwich pressure in the backfield. What a smile.
Yeah, fantastic grab there.
There's another out of bounds pull. Sully signaling the brick. So for anyone that is maybe less familiar with Ultimate, when the point starts, we throw the disc from defense to offensive side. If it flies out of bounds, not having landed in at all, you can take it from 1/3 of the way into the central zone. Williams, under a lot of pressure from Lewis. Trying to find Mud up the line, but a foot block instead.
What a meaty block there by Lewis.
Has been some sort of call. I'm not seeing. Ah, there we go. So foul hand signals. We love hand signals up here in the booth. Gibson across to Naden. Pump fake. Sloan. Up to Haynes. Haynes with the signature colourful cap. Naden across to Gibson again. On the underneath. Tries to receive it herself and almost does. Just tips off the back. The pressure of the end zone line and the defense in the same space mounting.
That was really unlucky for Naden. I think she really controlled that point. She was basically every other pass and then just couldn't get there in the end, which is such a shame. Just tipped up, yeah.
I like that shot from Gibson as well. It was great vision. Mud. To Lung. Long high throw to Haynes. Haynes has been a strong receiver and defender alike for this Welsh side so far, but even that was quite a lot to ask for her. That's not Wilson, that is Lewis. Naden again with a big pump fake. Lewis across to Haynes.
So a lot of these players very used to throwing in such gusty winds. You can see they're throwing quite aggressively. A lot of these are very fast shots there as another one sails out of bounds.
Yeah, but I'd imagine the size of the pitch as well, it being slightly different to what the players are usually used to. It's quite tricky to be able to readjust your throws to a different size that you're used to. And the wind has been causing a lot of havoc throughout today. It's died down ever so slightly, but it does seem to be quite difficult to predict. Like it picks up in pockets every now and then rather than being a more consistent gust. Mud. Has Haynes wide open in the centre but didn't like the option. Takes the across to Sully instead. Williams having to use his quad to catch it again. Jenkins. I loved that throw option, but great visionary defense from Hulkyard. Quite a few turnovers in this point already. Naden fakes the deep. On the backhand side, takes it on. Gibson is able to get that pickup. My goodness. What a grab. Dishes back to Hulkyard. Naden swings across to Lewis. Just outside the end zone. And almost a simple upline backhand. Unfortunately, stays out of bounds for Sloan.
What's been interesting to me is to see how both teams have adjusted to having one less player on the pitch. I mean, per WUFDF or the World Flying Disc Federation's rules, it's usually 7v7, so it's interesting to see how they adjust to playing 6-on-6. I think Wales have opted for a bit more of a horizontal stack, so previously there'd be 4 cutters, now there's 3 cutters, whereas England a bit more of a vert stack, which may be a little bit easier to adjust, but it seems interesting.
Yeah, we've seen a fair few different offensive styles throughout this tournament. Just trying to keep it simple and do the fundamentals right. It seems to be the most important factor, however. Naden able to read that one. Nice and easy. Big emphatic spike to bring it to 3-1, a 2-point separation. She appears to be holding something in her face. Has she got a nosebleed?
I think there's a lot of contact on that bodying. I think she really put her heart into that one and maybe got a little something to the face, I think.
She seems to be pointing at something. Ian Tate having a quick look at that, making sure that she is all right.
Sheila was just leaning back there, getting lots of air under the disking, giving Naden the opportunity to really start to box out.
That's a very typical Andy Lewis release, is the quick lean back of the flick and providing a huge amount of leverage through the core, snap down from the shoulder to elbow to wrist.
Yeah, I think Naden there just getting a little disc to the face on the catch. Should be okay.
So Wales with another opportunity to score. Turner takes on the deep shot himself, has Lees in that end zone space and successful. Lees usually in the handler space, but decided to switch spots and it's paid off.
Yeah, even the oncoming Conor Mickael with a huge layout couldn't get anything on that one. It was a clean put.
Big hugs across the board. We love to see it. I think something that is quite beautiful about this tournament as well. Obviously, we spoke about the fact that a lot of the Irish and Scottish players have a strong level of chemistry from having played either at club team level or national team level or even just at local leagues, being able to play together and build that chemistry. But for a lot of the English and the Welsh players, they've never really gotten to play together before, at least not in a mixed format. So seeing the development throughout today of the chemistry has been honestly fantastic, and you can see them really gelling together quite well.
Yeah, massive difference between the start of the day and today. You can see things really gelling. Obviously, the wind helps, but yeah, there's definitely some improvements over the course of the day as chemistry improves. Another lean back throw from Lewis.
This time looking for Haynes, but blocked by Jackson, flying through completely clean. That is an impressive bid, my goodness.
No contact on him whatsoever. It was a great, clean bid. Fantastic.
And I do love the shot looking for Haynes, but the closing speed from Jackson. Haynes had some separation. Wales trying to answer back with a huck for themselves, but that soars out the closer sideline to the camera. I'm not actually sure at what point it went out, so England might have gained a few meters depending on where it went out. But yeah, it looks like they're coming in relatively halfway.
Bit of a gift, dare I say, for England. I mean, an absolutely tremendous layout there. And then immediately just hucked it out the sideline, which is a shame as Sloan brings it back in and England try to extend their lead.
Sloan had a link up the line, but the force from Mudd completely shut that option down. Gibson with a phenomenal 7-cut. Another run-through block, this time from Sully. Wales seem to know what England wants before England realises it themselves. Low release inside to Mudd. Mudd answers with a high release. Williams shooting for goal!
Wow.
Goodness me, Sasha Haynes.
Absolutely fantastic. Wow, what a grab.
There are no words.
I know. I think Sasha Haynes previously of Lemmings, I believe, and then currently for Deep Space. Showing some real class on that, never giving up on it, and, well, giving Wales another point on the board and taking this game where it needs to go.
Yeah, Haynes is the definition of absolute athlete. She's extremely powerful, both on offense and defense, just ridiculously hard to shut down. As somebody that's marked her a couple of times before, I don't envy anyone that has to mark Haynes at all. Get another look at this fly-through block from Sully. Great catch from Williams, and then with a quick release, Flik turns around. Pressure underneath from Gibson. It spins, tips off the fingers, and then Haynes in again with the grab.
Unconventional, but I still like it. What a grab. And you can just see the passion there. Immediately goes to spike it in terms of, you know, some people don't like it, but I think it just shows that both these teams are really hungry for it. Both these teams want to win this game, and it means a lot to both teams.
Quinn. Dishes behind for Link. Cross to Mickael. Link immediately goes up the line. Mickael finds Allen in the backspace, tries to go for the inside flick. Unfortunately, one of the things that he mentioned to look for was turfed flicks, and he... I don't know. I don't really know. Just... He told me to call him out, and that's what I've done. There you go, Chris Allen.
Well, it's okay. Immediately turn back over again as England try again for this one.
And Carla Link, usually playing for Bristol, wasn't actually supposed to be playing this tournament after playing at women's qualifiers a couple of weeks ago. Had injured her knee. Seems to hopefully be on the recovering end of it. So it's good to see her back out on the field, hopefully not at her own detriment. Hall with a flick for himself, trying to find Mickael. It sits, it floats, and Mickael reads.
Yeah, I feel a bit sorry for Tidswell on that Conor Mickael matchup. It seemed like that was definitely his kind of point. He was definitely in the motion of things, moving and grooving. Went deep, shot went up, and that was an absolute dime.
You know, commentating one of the earlier games with Hannah Millard, she had said that Frisbee as a sport tends to favour the offence. And you can have an even matchup, like I would argue that Mickael and Tidswell in terms of speed and pace is extremely even. So when you've got two very even players playing up against each other, one of them's an offence, it will probably go in the hands of the offence, which has happened in this circumstance with Mickael and Tidswell.
I'm sure he'll want to get his own back on that one, and I'm excited to see it.
So still only a 1 point buffer. We're very, very close in this lineup. But it has almost felt like England has been in the driver's seat. And Wales has been responding but capitalising at any opportunity they can, particularly on defence. Making quick work of this here. Williams on the far sideline. Has a wide open mud. Receives again. Goes for the fake, but the force stops it. Just a quick bobble catch. The wind had picked up at that last second and made the catch really difficult.
I'm surprised how few players are trickling through. It seems like they're not really wanting to play as fast as I'd expect.
Lewis trying to push Halkyard downfield. Trying to open up. Oh my goodness, that backfield space. Gibson flying to turf. Hesitate the option to Naden. Does take it on. It's floating over the top. Unfortunately not. Wales with another opportunity.
Rodri's gone. Oh, just a bit too much.
Yeah, Yellow's got a strong arm on him, so it's I'm not too surprised that went absolutely flying, but Williams apologising on the reception. So we've got 46 minutes left of gameplay. This game is now 70 minutes long as opposed to the 40 minutes that we had earlier on.
Which is tough because you play 3 games in a tournament, you adjust to playing the shorter games, and then you get put in a bit of a higher pressure situation with much more on the line in terms of medals, and then all of a sudden you've got to play almost double as long. So it'll be interesting to see how they adjust and how they cope with the longer points as this goes up to Halkyard. That's a lovely score.
That was a great shot trying to find Halkyard from Naden. As we see again the thumbs down, the big boos.
I mean, judging by the body language of Wales, you could almost guess that England are in the driving seat here, but they're only down by 2 points, and I think if we're going to see a comeback from Wales, it's going to come from a little bit of heart, a little bit of passion, and pulling up their socks and grinding through the rest of this game.
Yeah, I would certainly agree. It's also almost reining it in slightly, sticking to the fundamentals and just really grafting through that. So rather than trying to make your cuts and your options trickier at every opportunity, doing it nice and easily, staying calm, using as many of the 10 seconds as you legally can before you actually have to get rid of it. So it's all trying to find Ratu. England with a quick pickup. Link flies over the top from Quinn, but Davies snaffles that one up instead. Turner didn't like the cut from Ratu. Davies misread the throw from Stalin. Mickael having to read the throw from over the top of the shoulder.
Acres of space there.
Hall. So I'm looking for the hammer. He's wanted it. Comfortably sat on the back end zone line to plant Haitley. I think I could kind of read from Hall's body language there. This might have been from just having been in Sheffield with him a lot. You can kind of see him like slowly tilting the arm up, getting the hammer ready, saw the option he wanted and took it on.
Well, I've always said the hammer is an underutilized throw. Why play in 2 dimensions when you can play in 3? So I completely back that as an option, 100%.
Yeah, I'm also a big fan of a hammer.
I find that people don't practice them enough, so that means when they come out, they may be a little bit wonky, a little bit bad, or not into the right space, and then you say, oh, you know, hammers, oh, they're absolutely useless. But there's a prime example here. You can just right up and over the defense, dropping down like a stone, and, well, like as I said, playing in 3 dimensions, not 2. But acres of space there. Fantastic.
And the celebration from Thompson. Arms in the air. Confident pull reception from Williams. Centers to Mudd. Mudd looking to Williams again, but doesn't like the option. Low release, trying to find long on this sideline. Tipped away by Sloan. That was going to be a difficult option.
So you've got a lot of players on both teams playing for the likes of like Chevron and Clapham and Deep Space and Reading, teams that are used to being in finals. And I find it quite interesting how England are really playing the game, whereas Wales are more playing the occasion. Like they look like they're in a final, they look like they're a little bit more nervous, whereas England, they're playing a lot more fluid.
I would agree. They've been able to find some level of chemistry between themselves. But that's not without a fight from the Welsh side. There has been some sort of call downfield, but that huck tipped back into the hands of Jackson.
I think there's an injury call as well. I think that's maybe Sloan coming off.
That is indeed Sloan, and been swapped for Quinn. Fingers crossed Sloan is going to be okay down the line. So check back in. Blady throw over to the other side to Williams. That flick sits in the low release, and Allen just quickly taps that down to ground. I'd say catch your Ds, but I feel like that was a valid use of not catching.
I'm completely okay with that.
Gibson to Naden. Naden had eyes for Lewis. Allen was also in the back space. Allen frustrated for another England score.
It really shows the power of the small level of horizontal separation in the defenders. There may have not been, extraordinarily deep or under of them, but the width that was provided just allowed the disc to go up and over and in between, and kind of gave the Welsh defence no chance.
So a slightly larger buffer now, 4 points. As we're creeping closer to at least the time halfway mark. There aren't any half times at this tournament. Just get another look at that shot intended for Eri Lung. And the head spike, well, more of a cap spike than anything else. Another roller pull. We've seen decent success from these so far.
Yeah, more rolly pulls than I think I've seen in a lot of tournaments. I don't know if they're just trending right now, but They're definitely used a lot.
Huge flick huck from Lees.
Oh, wow.
Looking for and finding Kat Stalin. That is some decisive ultimate.
Yeah, it was very nice. I think that's pretty textbook what to do in that situation. They were trapped on the sideline. They got it out of the sideline. They found a fantastic deep option, and it just dropped right into that space. So well weighted. Perfect. And maybe this is the score that Wales need to get back on track.
Yeah, you've spoken multiple times already today about momentum swings, and we could see it happening here. I would love for Wales to continue to use that deep space. Maybe doing some sort of pull play. I'm not sure whether that was one itself, but having such competent throwers like you have with Lees and with Williams, it's a no-brainer, really.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can even see the level of separation between the defenders there. It's just so free.
Valkyard catches the bubble from the ground. Gibson looking for Quinn. Quinn calling a foul. Looks like she was cut off by Williams.
There might be a little bit of contact in there. Might have shook her up a little bit as they get back to talking on the issue.
This is currently in the hands of Lewis, but Quinn is calling for it to be back in her hands, I believe.
I have to figure out the gestures.
Oh, it's staying in Lewis's hands. Check back in. Give go, charging down. Quinn off to the races. Really strong and safe hands. Lewis. Naden slashes across. Quinn does the same. It's dished back to Haynes instead. Gibson in with a 7 cut. Slight hesitation. Just went back behind. Maybe a miscommunication on the throw.
Yeah, the cutting was absolutely perfect. That beautiful slash across really opened that space up, but maybe a little bit lackadaisical on that throw, and just a simple drop there.
Lung. High release backhand into space. Not sure who that was intended for, but the pressure from the English defense was enough.
It's almost like they held on for a bit too long and just spun out of their hand there. So an unlucky one.
Gibson is completely isolated. Lewis has found it now. The handler marks seem to be sagging off into the lane, trying to cause some sort of havoc.
It's like a bit of a zone look from Wales.
And England staying pretty clustered. Or at least in 2 different spaces clustered. They've got some people in the backfield and then some people downfield. But not really anyone filling in the center and trying to expand this zone and stretch it out.
I wonder if that's where the 7th player would come into play, but Horne are able to scoop that up quite comfortably.
Yeah, great shot from Naden. It's arcing it round. But by looking at the facial expressions of some of the English players, they're looking pretty fatigued. You wouldn't imagine that they've got a 4-point buffer here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the main difference between this game and the game that they played earlier is I think England maybe underestimated Wales at the start. I think they kind of went in thinking, you know, once we get a few points ahead, maybe we can kind of coast to the end of it. But I think this time they're not going to make that mistake twice.
Yeah, definitely not wanting to underestimate your opponent. It also looks like there is some fatigue getting involved. Some of the Welsh options are unfortunately looking tired, wanting to rush some of the options and get the disc as far downfield as possible. Turner finds Leeds. Leeds looking over the top for Stalin.
Yeah, maybe the wind just picked up a little bit, as you can see the flag in the background. Maybe just carried that a little bit further than it needed to.
Thompson dishes over the top to Hall. Hall with another huck looking for Mickael. Mickael with pressure underneath from Turner. Both of them go toppling. Hopefully okay.
I'm sure Mickael is used to that level of contact playing in the US.
You're just brushing off some of the clumps of grass. He does look slightly shaken up though. I do love this shot from Hall.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether it was, again, that the daunting end zone back line was maybe causing Connor to jump up slightly earlier than intended. Lees. Over to Turner. Jenkins is wide open on this end zone. No, this closer sideline space. Players down. That's for 2. She'd had her quads taped up all day today. Unfortunately, she's been experiencing quite a lot of pain in her quads, so hopefully it's nothing too serious.
She doesn't look overly happy. I think doesn't look great, so all the best to Tizzy. One of the few Welsh players who can actually speak Welsh. And it's very impressive.
This coming and stalling one. Beautiful inside backhand to Mud. Mud being one of the main receivers for this Welsh side. At least is like the first cut option. Stalin up the line for Turner. That is magic from Wales.
It really shows the power of what a really big break can do there. So there wasn't a lot of movement going on downfield. Lees took this really nice IO break, and it just opened up the entirety of that backhand side, and it was just able to coast in for the score. Very expensive.
And that will bring us to what we have as actually a little bit of a half-time. Look at that beautiful stuff. And we've spoken about it in the previous streams, but I kind of want to continue to bring the attention back to why we're here in the first place, why this event is going on. Just whilst we have the time to talk about it. Can you introduce to us, to anyone that's maybe not seen any of the previous streams, what this event is for?
Yes, so there was a gentleman by the name of Matt Tomlinson, who was a huge figure in the Scottish ultimate scene. I think he always dreamed of a Scottish national team and formed Alba because of it, and I was honestly a really lovely guy if you ever had a chance to meet him. Unfortunately, he passed away through a terrible traffic collision, and I think he'd always dreamed of, as I said, as a Scottish team, and this tournament was formed in his honour with some charitable donations from, I think it was the Watson Foundation, among some other donors who basically was given money to the community to say, please do something with this in his honour, so this is kind of honouring him, and to be honest, I think this is a great showcase of what he would have loved, what he was all about. You know, you've got 4 nations here battling it out in a way that I think he would have very much enjoyed.
Yeah, we're making sure to say that this is an inaugural event because we're very much hoping for future events either exactly the same as this, being an annual thing, or very similar events. So it's been a beautiful thing to witness all of these, like the top level players across Great Britain and Ireland coming together to celebrate individual nations playing against each other. And for a very good cause.
Yeah, and it's a great opportunity to see kind of combinations of people that you maybe don't get a full chance to. You know, like you've got a lot of players on Wales who play on a complete different mismatch of different teams, and then, you know, a lot of the representation on GB has been, you know, maybe a little bit focused on the England side of things, and then it gives an opportunity for teams to form and for growth to happen in communities where maybe it hasn't had an opportunity to in the past.
We even dragged some of the Scottish players out of retirement, so that's great.
An excuse to listen to the bagpipes, huh?
So England starting on offense. Incredible grab again from Gibson. Time and time again, we're seeing her putting her body on the line. Sloan.
Good to see Sloan back on the pitch after coming off injured.
Lewis had Gibson going deep. A bit too much separation from the disc and Gibson. Haynes to Holkyard. Holkyard takes it deep himself, does find Gibson in that deep space, but yeah, just a bit too far. You can see her shaking her head, holding herself back.
And the conditions have definitely died down a little bit, so it's good to see that those hucks are coming out. A little bit unlucky on that one as it just sailed a little bit too far, but, well, it's going to give Wales an opportunity to maybe punch one in.
Did well. Has Haynes wide open underneath. Williams. Back across to Haynes. Tries to find the swing option. Set a beautiful inside flick shot to Williams. Long also completely open. Defense wanting to sag off ever so slightly, and Haynes rips that out of the air. That was some beautiful offense we saw from Wales.
Yeah, well, a little bit of a shame. It was getting really patient. It was nice and slow, and then it's a very, very tough option. You've got to throw over a lot of people, and just, yeah, Haynes coming in at the last second just to pinch that one. Very hard option, and England take the disc back.
Sloan. Hammer over the top. Throw that we're both a big fan of. Naden. Dish around the back to Sloan. Able to hold it in, yeah. Looking for that very narrow window around Flik. Holkyard with the quick dish behind. Confirmation of the score. This continuous 4-point buffer in England's favour is starting to look a bit scary for Wales.
Yeah, a little bit. I think England did a good job of utilising that deep space connection in Sloan to Holkyard. Maybe not the edge I personally would have put on the disc, but it was that nice that I think Holkyard could have taken it at any point. It was a great score, and keeping that buffer where a little bit nice and comfortable for England.
There was that initial shot from Holkyard to Gibson. Gibson is a speedy player, and as we've seen already, that she is not just willing, but very able to throw herself around to do what she needs to do to get to the disc. But that was too far even for her. And Haynes with the rip out of the air for the D, the turnover.
He's ripped that.
And that's the pitch size factor that we briefly mentioned in the last game. How is that going to affect things like hucks and, in this circumstance, pulls?
So the pitches are smaller for the 6v6, is that
correct? They have adjusted the size of the pitch in order to accommodate for there only being 6 players.
By a 7th?
I honestly don't know. I don't want to do that kind of maths, personally.
I'll get my tape measure out.
Whatever you want to do. Lees fakes the huck. Swings around to Jenkins. Jenkins takes on a low flick huck for himself. Finds Stalin well in the chest. Looking to Ratu. Ratu back on the pitch. Celebration. Quick spike. Phenomenal work from Wales. That's the kind of offense that we're looking for.
Yeah, again, the amount of separation that Stalin had there, kind of all by herself in the middle of the pitch. A tough throw to get to, I will admit, but got a straight like an arrow. And the end, nice easy score there for Easy Ratu.
Jenkins also having had some experience in Scotland himself. At the University of Edinburgh and played with Alba for a short stint. Now currently playing for Smog.
Yeah, I think he spent a few years off injured. My knowledge is correct. I believe it was a concussion, so it's good to see him out on the field.
Yeah, he's been suffering with post-concussion syndrome. This is the most that he's played in the past year and a half. This is the first tournament he's played in a long, long time. So he's personally very excited to be out in the field, and in this circumstance it just makes it even more perfect, being able to represent Wales. We're seeing another pull go out of bounds.
Still dying for the brick pull stats.
I mean, at the start of the tournament it wasn't too bad. Most of the pulls didn't really get too far, but this time I think they're having to readjust for this lessening of the wind.
Yeah.
There's not lack of wind, because there is still some, but it's nowhere near as strong as it was before. Haynes.
Could send it.
Could send it, does send it. Oh my goodness, the rip out the sky from Williams. Tries to shoot it back for himself. Tidswell. Incredible positioning. Jackson in that front field space does almost, I thought he cut off a couple of people. No, but that's just the end zone.
And this is the kind of back and forth ultimate that I personally love to see. Big huck goes up, massive grab there by Williams, and then immediately hucks it again to Tidswell.
And that's exactly what I spoke about earlier on in terms of Tidswell's athletic ability being quite similar to that of Conor Mickael. They are both so speedy. Tidswell, having previously also played for Smog. I feel like I keep plugging Smog players, but they are just everywhere. Now currently playing for Chevron Action Flash with Williams. That initial shot from Haynes just ripped out the air. Without hesitation. Sent back. Something nice and calm and collected on that front end zone line, making sure that Jackson had the right positioning. Had 3 defenders kind of sitting behind. That's why I thought that there might be a little bit more space in the pitch, but no, he was just wide open in the end zone.
It's great utilization of using the front of the end zone there. I think it's quite easy to just see this massive end zone and think you've got to score in all 4 corners, but if they're 1 yard or 50 yards, it's just if you can get it over the line, then that's all that really matters. So good use of the small ball.
Mickael. That's Quinn. Wales will come in with this zone look, which seems to be super effective. Hannah Mudd getting the block off of her teammate, Carla Link.
I don't think she even knew it was coming.
Both sides seem to be quite surprised by it. Mudd to Lees. Back to Mudd.
Some very pokey defense there by England. It's going to make it tough for Wales. It's a great look there by Davies.
Yeah, it was a fantastic dish over the top. You're being face marked by your defender. Just quickly dish it over them.
So Wales looking to isolate one player in the front, ignoring them completely and just going over the top. Starting with the score. Wales are inching closer.
The momentum has been a slow build, but it's coming. They're within 1. It's getting a lot closer now. You can see the energy shift from Wales.
Yep.
They're starting to take advantage and be like, you know what, we've got nothing to lose here. Let's just go. Do it.
This was the same points differential in the first game, I believe, and they proved that they can drag it back to take it to, well, at the time 7-7. I'm telling you, if momentum comes Wales' way, we could see an upset.
The hammer onto the tippy toes.
Yeah, Davis, they're not the tallest of players, so impressive to get over the mark. And well there.
Just over 21 minutes left of gameplay. We don't seem to have a points cap, it's just a times cap here. So let's see how many points we can generate here, but it has been inching ever closer. It did look like it was going to be fully in England's favour. Lewis has Naden completely deep. Picture perfect shots.
I don't think that's the first time that an England player has had that level of separation. I'm not sure if it's just a miscommunication on the Welsh side, not picking up the right person, or, well, it could just be the absolute raw speed of some of these England players.
Naden is a very good cutter. She's able to create space with ease, and it's honestly so impressive, especially having seen her over the years just continue to grow and flourish and become so much more confident in her abilities. Yeah, I believe that must have been some sort of miscommunication, not realizing that Naden was in that deep space. Mickael with the pull. Is it going to soar out the back again?
Oh, that would have
just
been
about.
Wow. Had me on the edge of my seat there. Could have been a perfect pull there. Really wanting to stretch these Welsh players right to the back of their end zone.
I think Lees is using every spare centimetre of his top to get that disc dry. And that fake on the backhand side. This is almost a mirror of what we'd seen in previous points. With this one not working out in Wales' favour. Link going for the quick pickup up the line to Thompson. Thompson finds Mickael and milks it a couple of extra centimetres up the line. Back to Thompson. Thompson going in with a hammer for herself. Allen having to dash underneath. And does so successfully. Jenkins taking a roll on the D.
Another great use of a hammer there. We've said it a few times. Why play in 2D when you can play in 3D?
And almost as if England had heard the momentum swing from us being mentioned towards Wales, they've managed to claw their way back in two relatively simple scores for them. Just a 1-2 pass done. Oh, Link almost accidentally kicking the disc into Wales' face.
Yeah, Jenkins almost maybe getting something on that, but just maybe a bit too poachy. I think he's going to enjoy watching this bit back.
I always hold my breath when Jenkins bids, knowing his history with concussions and hamstrings and knees and just wanting to make sure that he's okay.
Yeah, probably one of the worst injuries to have, I think, concussion. As someone who's had 2 knee surgeries, I still don't want a concussion.
Sally fielded that pull particularly well to Tidswell. Putting long on the underneath. Williams. Great movement from Wales. Mudd with a quick give go. Had Lung free on the underneath, but undershot. Also had Tidswell in the same space. Hulkyard finds Naden.
It's a great around there by Hulkyard.
Nice and simple, slick, smooth offense so far from England. Keeping the cuts nice and easy. Sloan close in that end zone line, and just as I accidentally predict the turnover here, Sully applying enough pressure to bring it back for Wales. Didn't actually realise it's a Welsh bucket hat. It's got a red dragon on it. That's great stuff.
Fantastic grab there by Williams.
Trying to look for the behind option, does find it in Haynes. Receives again, dishes up to Mudd. Back to Williams. Looking for Long. No, not Long, Tidswell. Long just happens to be in the same space at the same time, so she's making the right cuts, but the option for Tidswell instead. Bring it back within 2 with 16 minutes to go.
Yeah, a bit of a shame there by Plant Haitley. I think he was maybe not keeping a full eye on the disc, and then it went up, and then Tidswell was able to scoop up that quite comfortably. This is one of the most relaxed Ds I've ever seen from Sully.
I'm not sure how much of a tip he actually managed to get on the disc, but it seemed to be just about enough to ensure the D. Yeah, Plant Haitley was unfortunately face marking Tidswell. Wasn't able to readjust in time.
It's Wales within 2.
A female matching pull for this point from Mudd. And also goes out of the sideline. We're quite privileged up here in the booth in that we don't have any exposure to the wind, but it does also mean that we can't tell where the wind is going necessarily. It looks to be relatively still, looking at the trees in the background and the Scottish flag that is beautifully mounted on the side.
Well, the jerseys aren't rustling too much, so I assume it's relatively still, but in this Scottish weather, anything can happen.
Wales come back in with this zone that was causing a lot of grief in the windier portions of today.
Another zone look, I think.
Klinge is wide open on this side here, completely available. Looking back to Mickael.
I think Wales will be happy to let England take these negative yards.
Allen swings across to Thompson. Big fake on the backhand. But England also very happy to just keep this disc swinging around the backspace, gain whatever meters that they possibly can. There is a wide open patch closer to the camera sideline, which isn't really being utilized very much. I understand there's obviously only 6 players rather than the usual 7. We've gone back to match defense. Just outside the end zone, Mickael. Link.
Pickle. Great patience there by the England side, kind of carving through the zone. I think they were happy to not rush things too quickly, wait for holes to appear, and then once they get to a good point, expect the Wales defence to turn into a match. And I think they're trying to resume when the camera's on the field there.
Good recognition and good call from the players. Disc back in play. Thompson to Klinge. Now 12-9.
Yeah, I'm sad to see a few heads dropping on the Wales side. I mean, games are never really over until they're over.
Yeah, we can certainly see them clawing their way back. It's not even too far to go. It does feel insurmountable at times, particularly when you're coming towards the end of the game. You're hungry, you want your dinner.
Yeah.
You want your bed. Maybe you want a drink.
Yeah, in my experience, I think as long as it's within 6 or 7, anything's really possible. Beyond that, I will give up, though.
Less so for this tournament format because of the time restriction.
Yeah, true. But you never know. A couple quick hooks.
Titwell does well to prevent the disc from rolling out the back on this occasion. Good adjustment from Haynes. Trying to look for Williams. I don't think Williams was actually anticipating that coming back to him.
Yeah, didn't really engage the reset there. Just kind of swiveled round and fired it straight at his chest. Very tough on that one.
Sloan taking her time to get to the disc. There's Naden. Gibson for another score for England. Pretty simple. Nice little pop done.
Yeah. I think I'm seeing a little bit more confident from the England side as they want to kind of wrap this game up. As we mentioned before, a couple of the Welsh heads are kind of going down. England have an option. They can either match them on their energy and just kind of drown this game out, or they can keep stepping up. And I think that's what they kind of did here. It's a lovely shot there. Using the full width of the end zone.
Yeah, good read from Gibson as well. Having Haynes on your back shoulder, a lot of pressure, trying to ensure that you stay both within the pitch and keeping the disc within your chest. Good heads-up offense.
Let's have you on the mark if he's going to be picking up, just because we want to get that on quickly.
We're starting to see some of that sunlight fade away behind the clouds, but it is getting later into the evening now. It's 8:10, so it won't be too long until sunset.
It's another Ruley pull for your bingo card.
Please, Turner. Turner wanting Lees again. He's moving the disc between the two of them. Getting pushed even further back. This is one of the benefits of the roller pull, is that as soon as you try and dump and swing, it just keeps going further and further back. But that hammer manages to gain a few yards.
I've been so impressed with Lee's throws today. Really opens up the pitch as another one goes up.
Beautiful stuff. Lees to Sully. Lees is well known amongst both the mixed and the open division for having some impeccable throws.
Yeah, just sat so perfectly.
I think somebody thought that they were maybe Sully's glasses, trying to give them back to him. Can I report this as inappropriate from the very phenomenal work from Wales, continuing to keep their composure at any opportunity they can. And honestly, just providing enough separation in that cut. And that we've mentioned how good Lees is at throwing. He's just able to sit the disc out into the perfect spot to lead the cutter in to where they need to go to. As demonstrated there, it floated over the defender's head perfectly.
Yeah, throws so good the defender starts jogging upon release.
England throwing a deep shot for themselves. Has Lewis in that space. Williams almost getting tip, but floated into Lewis's lap. And a quick answer back. That's exactly how you kind of show your dominance towards this end stage of the game. England wanting to hold onto this 3-point buffer for as long as they can.
There's such efficient offense there, I think. Wales have obviously put in a really nice shot there, given the opportunity, the point, it's England's turn to try and put one in, and then all of a sudden, well, for lack of a better term, bang, 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 and it's in. Very nicely worked.
She's so good.
How's your lip reading?
I mean, quite clear that he said she's so good.
She's so good.
And he's not wrong.
He is not wrong.
Gibson, having previously played, well, she's currently playing for Spice, but she has already a wealth of experience despite still being quite young. Having played for GB Women's in Australia, and before that, having played an under-24 cycle for GB. And really trying to lead the charge here for England. But Wales have something to answer for. Jenkins waving his arm saying, I'm wide open.
That's
looking
big.
Deep. Jenkins is there, does take it. Emphatic grab. He must be, I say he must be ecstatic about that. His face isn't showing it.
Yeah, I love how much more clean the offense has turned towards the end of this game. And obviously we've had a few dirtier games earlier in the day, and this is a great showcase of, well, when the offense is flying, it's so buttery, the whole thing. And Jenkins, you mentioned his hands going up. He was clearly completely free, and that disc going up there, fantastic. Up and over the top. Beautiful.
Yeah, great throw from Stalin too. Mud there on the underneath, just in case for a second reception. But thankfully not needed. Good old foot flick in the air.
Wales are within 3, 5 minutes to go.
Great fielding there, gaining quite a few yards. And after catch of the pull, throw an open side under, run deep, done.
I think Mickael there with his, he's looking for something. I don't know if he's looking for the Welsh defence there. Again, another England player storming deep with very little coverage. I'm not sure who was marking him there, but yeah, another very easy score for England. I think, not to say the game is dead and done, but I think if they were going to punch in and put the pressure back on England, I think that might have been the point, and it was just way too easy. I also love this expansive shot by Hawkyard. Just to wait on that, just almost greedy on the amount of yards.
And the cut that Sloan had provided as well, just to gain as much distance as possible. It looked like Hawkyard was being marked maybe by Tidswell, and Tidswell maybe sat on the underneath anticipating Hawkyard to go back under, but was just able to sneak through the back.
Yeah, Hawkyard there, one of ULTI World Breakout Players of the Year, had a fantastic final against Tifsi Taucher last year and took home the gold.
Great pronunciation.
I did try. I'm going to get some comments from a German listener saying that was appalling, but I did try.
As a person who speaks German, it was
You
great
do German?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Great pronunciation.
Oh,
there you go.
Fantastic.
Leads with quite a flat mark from Allen, but able to break it off. Stalin. Across to Davies. Floaty inside backhand. What a shot to Stalin. That is a thing of beauty.
There's a juicy break there, getting so low. I was thinking it was sailing past a receiver, but no, it was perfectly weighted. Great throw.
It was quite difficult to tell, but from Davies' body language, he did almost seem a bit panicked and thinking like, no, 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 and then saw the option that she wanted and took it on with absolute confidence. It was the pivot decision made. And again, when you've got 3-4 minutes left on the clock, you might as well start taking on those brave options.
And it was just very well done there. Davis coming and playing for Heck previously of the Brown and using a wealth of experience there to really get nice and low there. Great.
Sloan. Unmarked currently. Lewis. To Haynes.
Takes the big.
Hawkyard streaks deep, but finds Lewis. Haynes skulking in the back handler space. Sloan with a hammer for herself, but defended, blocked by Mud. Slightly too low, or did Mud anticipate it?
Yeah, maybe a little bit too low there, but still great anticipation there. I'm not seeing much of a rush from the Welsh players with 2 minutes to go. It's never over.
Maybe wanting to be quite secure in their options. Hawkyard coming flying through.
Would have been an excellent poach D there.
And now they're off with the charge. Lung. Unmarked. Turner also unmarked. Too much of a poach. I like that spike.
I don't fully understand what the England defence was there. It seemed two of them went to go have a cup of tea or something. I mean, maybe the game's over, but it's nice to see Wales haven't completely given up now. And they're still bringing that passion that we expected to see.
With just 1 minute left. 2 points separating them.
2 30-second Calhouns, you think?
It's not out of the realms of possibility. I love that shot from Lung too. Just recognizing that Turner was completely free and taking it on. Some spectator fluffy cowboy hats. And Lee's readying for the pull. What is likely to be the last points of this game. And it is huge.
Massive pull.
A good bounce catch from Mickael. Floats over the top to Thompson. Dishes back to Mickael. Is he going to jack it? He does. Has Allen in the space. Takes it on just as the hooter. You'd call it a buzzer beater, but England taking the first gold medal for Four Nations Ultimate Tournament. My goodness, what a day it's been, Johnny.
It's been a great day. I've really enjoyed today. It's been a great showcase. I mean, England there showing that they really know how to make it, you know. Oh, sorry, I'm speechless by that. Jesus, it was such a good game. Yeah, no, it was really good. I really enjoyed that.
No words needed. Honestly, it has been an absolute privilege. Firstly, let's go down the line. Congratulations to England for winning the inaugural Four Nations Ultimate Tournament. Congratulations to Wales for winning silver. Congratulations to Scotland for their bronze medal. And thank you very much. Absolute commiserations to Ireland for attending. It has been an incredible event, wonderfully run. I love the meaning behind it. We also want to extend a big thank you to obviously all the volunteers, all the organisers for this tournament this year, all of the commentators, for ULTI.TV, for Mala Productions, who have been able to bring you streaming completely free for today. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please continue to show your support, and we hopefully will see you next year. For Johnny Tafalis, I've been Gigi Morrison. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we will see you later.
Cheers, guys.
Nationals.